All right, Rick, your box has arrived. So let's go ahead and get this opened up. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So let's come down on this a bit here. Very good. Okay. All right. So Rick, this is your father's watch. Oh, it's very nice. Let's have a look here. You got very clean dial and hands. This is a 1977 6139 6005, which is the US spec. Watch. Okay. Okay. Okay, so some things to talk about. It looks like it's very... Yep, okay, so that's good. Just want to kind of get my bearings here a little bit. You've got it on an Uncle Seiko, which is great. Straight link Uncle Seiko. So these are a little tight through here. I'm not sure why that is, but we can help loosen that up a little bit. I think it's just an adjustment on your end link that's keeping that from being as loose as it should be on the turn here. That's no matter. Let's focus more on the watch. So this watch must have been serviced by someone in the past. Your sweep hand is not resetting back to vertical, and the reason for that is it's not the original hand. So these would have had a much different sweep chronograph hand. So at some point either the hand broke or something occurred and a replacement hand was put in place. It's also extremely close, at least on this lower end, to your minute hand, and so they might actually, I don't think they're touching, but it is about as close as you can get perhaps without touching. So that should be addressed. Getting this to reset to 0, because it's not actually a chronograph hand, it's more of just a second hand. These are keyed. The actual post that the hand sits on is keyed to that hand, and so as a consequence, whoever put this on must have just pressed it in place, not really thinking about the keying process, and of course it didn't quite go as planned, which is unfortunate. Now, none of this is a slight on the watch. It's just that That's the way these things go. If you get a hand replaced, it's uncertain what the intentions of the replacer must have been. Now, we can leave it completely as seen. Don't have to change anything. Service the watch, make sure it runs, make sure it's good, and leave all of that alone. So that's totally your call. I don't have a replacement hand as far as I know for this particular movement, this particular watch. So we can talk about what to do there. If you want to replace it, we can always discuss something, but I think perhaps we'll have to figure that out as we go. That looks correct. Crown is a little bit, give me a little bit of concern. You got a seal that's sticking out here. The surfaces of the watch are very, very good. This is a very nice original unpolished watch. What I'd like to do is go ahead and take your bracelet off and then open up the watch and see if we can get inside and have a look at what's going on. So let's just try and take this bracelet off. Shouldn't be too bad. There's one. And there's the other. Okay. Put that aside. Let's see if we can get this open. If not, I'll have to pause for a second and put this on a machine. It allows me to easily open these case backs without any danger to scratching it or... Oh no, we're good. Okay. Looser than I expected. Okay, Seiko Time Corp, which is correct. No marks of service, although certainly the watch has been opened and things have been changed. So let's get a little stick here and do some moving around. I want to take a look at your crown here. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's all right. Certainly needs a new seal, but it's not in bad shape. Okay. Yeah, it was just a little proud because it was in a setting position, so that's okay. Let's look at some things. I want to just take a peek under your cap jewel here. So, if I'm not mistaken, there is some lubrication there. So let's go ahead and see what this watch has in store. Let's see if it's got power, and let's see, it looks pretty vibrant. I mean, it's low on power simply because the mainspring is unwound, but let's see. Let's have a look. We may not necessarily need to do much, but I mean, service is always an option. It's very clean. It's a nice watch. Give me 1 second. Let me go on the Timegrapher. Okay, Rick. Well, here's the thing. Your father's watch has, at some point in the not-so-distant past, received some level of service. Now, I can't speak to anybody else's work, but in terms of performance and the quality of the signal of the watch, what the watch is telling my machine here is that it's performing very, very well. Now, it's a little bit out of adjustment, so that's, that can change things a little bit here and there. Roughly, what you're seeing here in these different categories are the rate. This is how many seconds per day it's either losing or gaining, so you're gaining anywhere between 32 and 26 seconds per day. The amplitude is really the number that I strive to get as high as possible on these watches, to within reason, of course. Seiko's run at a slightly lower amplitude than most of your Swiss watches, for example, but 230 is sort of the sweet number, right? Above 230, you're doing fantastic. Below 230, maybe below 220, I would say. you need maybe some intervention at some point. But 200, 180, that's really bad. Some watches don't make it above 220, and they really need help. You're losing a little bit of amplitude over time, as you can see here. Some of that could be simply just, me muddling around. This number here is basically how even the tick and the tock is relative to each other. I can adjust this, and I can adjust this. This comes from service. So seeing your watch sitting here steadily hovering around 230-ish gives me confidence to say that your watch is running just fine. Now, is that always going to be the case? I can't warranty or guarantee anybody else's work, so I have to just go off of what I see here. I am very happy to reseal your watch because it has old seals. Pack it up and send it home, because I don't want you to undertake to service the watch if the watch doesn't need service. And of course, that's fine. It's no problem, no issue for me to do that. I'm happy to send people's watches home without my service if it doesn't need it. And frankly, I would say that your watch is in that category. You're doing very well. A little bit of adjustment. Now, that means that I don't take care of any issue, or, I don't disassemble the case. I don't do things that, are part of my service process, but you get the watch back and you don't have to incur the cost today. Will that remain the case forever? No. These watches do need service, and I don't know the last service time. So it's really your call at this point. I'm happy, and trust me, happy to adjust the watch, put it in a box, send it home with new seals installed, and charge you for those in that time. But otherwise, leave the watch alone. And frankly, that's what I would recommend. So we can talk. You can let me know where you want to be and how you want to do this. And we'll go from there. Okay? So great watch, looking good, running well, and we can leave it at that. All right, I'll be in touch. Thanks for watching.